Yeah, I mean, unbelievable game. One of the better ones I've been involved in. Period. Just back and forth, back and forth. Two really good teams, tough teams. We did enough. That was a pure team toughness win, if I've ever seen one. That's one where you do look at the box score, just so maybe I don't want to leave anybody out, but you can also flush it down the toilet or maybe save it to keep it just for a remember of the game being back and forth. I told the guys, obviously we had a lot of guys do a lot of great things, but Chewy and Kel Bolton, I mean, those guys are grads. They came to University and they could both be pitching in the rotation. They had stayed where they were, potentially, or maybe even somewhere else. But we put them in because we see how hard they work. We believe they're great teammates. We believe they can get these hitters out. And wow, they were unbelievable. I mean, to put up that many zeros, that's a really good balanced offense that doesn't strike out a lot. So that is, the older you get, obviously you coach for other reasons. But when you see stuff like that, for me, that is very gratifying to see those guys rewarded. Camron Seagraves was outstanding as well. I thought everybody that went out there was good. Lynch maybe ran out of gas a little bit, or sometimes you have to learn that those 3 outs are different, and those last 3 are really hard to get. So for us to get out with that double play too in the 9th with our infield defense was big for us, and that's just a big win for us. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. Gives you some momentum. Another tough week ahead, but I'll enjoy it tonight, and I told our guys to enjoy it in the proper way tonight.
Some good tough lessons for your 3 freshman relievers who just battled so well.
Oh man, Duffy was a little. His toe, he had like a flare up with his toe, so it wasn't his arm. And we talked about Maddie and missing him today, and obviously that had been some innings for him. But we also talked about more guys will get their opportunities. And I thought those 4 guys, I mean, to put up that many zeros against that lineup was impressive. But for the whole team, the dugout was in every pitch. Our guys were supporting one another. We used a ton of guys. I believe we got all the stat bunts down that we put down, that I put on, which is really good because you have to be able to do that. So, I'm excited for those guys the most, more than I am us. But our coaches too deserve a shout out because they work their tails off. Have an unbelievable staff. They work so hard to prepare, and Coach Gaines and Coach Howell, they do a lot of things down there in that pitching specific area, throwing bullpen after bullpen, and had those guys ready.
Is that a silver lining of sort of the 9th inning, not meltdown, but
Yeah.
slip up there?
You know what? I don't even look at it that way. I look at it like there's just pure joy. I ain't gonna try to hide it. I mean, that's North Carolina Duke rubber match. Our league's so difficult. Those games matter, especially when you're at home. If anything, I look at it like we've had guys here that they have to learn. They go out there, the heart rate's different those last 3, and that's my job, and Coach Gaines and Coach Howell to help Ryan Lynch learn how to take that next step. But he has done it as well. But if anything, it takes some pressure off guys too. When Kel Bolton's coming in there throwing 94, now we have another lefty, and then how about Folger Boaz? He had trouble with strikes last night, and he comes in there and with the bases loaded, you can't walk him, and he gets him out. So that was huge.
What's the update on Maddie?
We haven't gotten an official word. I'll get that out once it's no word for me right now. It's good. We'll have our doctors read the MRI, and we're hoping he just has, maybe a strained flexor tendon or just a nerve. That's the hope.
With Chewy and Bolton, obviously they've been around the block a little bit, like you mentioned, but for Camron, I mean, the highest leverage innings he's really thrown so far in his career, and to come through in that situation is kind of what you see from him.
I've been talking to Cam about it, like how much we believe in his command too. Because yeah, he's walked some guys, but he wasn't a guy that we recruited that just threw really hard that had C command. I saw him pitch in high school. I actually saw him while he was still committed to Campbell, and I left there thinking, dang, I can't believe this kid's going to Campbell, and they had a coaching change, and right away I'm like, man, we got to get on this kid because I thought he could pitch too. Him and McDuffie both from my home. Well, Cam's not from my hometown, but he lived and played for Grace Christian for Rob Wooten, and McDuffie is from my hometown, so I could get in there and see him. But he had great high school numbers. He throws a ton of strikes, and today he showed you that he's also a pitcher. He flipped the curveball in there when he needed to, and he had stuff on his fastball. What impressed me the most about Cam is it didn't go great from the start. But he got that double play ball, kept the game tied, gave us some momentum, and that's why we ended up holding on and winning that game.
We always talk about putting the ball in play, and Madera did it on the last
Yeah.
play, and then a fortuitous bounce maybe.
You know, sometimes you need a bounce. National championship teams usually get some type of bounce somewhere along the way. So we'll give the assist to Jeff, our grounds crew guy. Maybe he went out there and put a little juju on that dirt and it's clean. You know, we didn't put any water. But yeah, that's the thing about Ahmad. You know, he's going to move the ball, and he hit it hard. If you look at the exit velocity, he just had down action, and it took that extra hop over his head.
And then Jackson, I think 4 for 6, 4 for 7.
Yeah, like it's not surprising. I can see him coming. I can't wait when Kepley and Steve get going. You know, it's tough, and that's my job to help them through it because those two guys, they are not chasing the draft. But I've been through it with every player, and everybody wants to be a major leaguer, and everybody wants to go high. So I'm just reminding everybody, just be patient with these two guys. If anything, they're just trying so hard to just taking a deep breath. And what's going to help them is this failure is going to really help them down the stretch because you got to get to a point mentally where it's like, okay, there's only one way, and it's going to be up.
Stokely on that one bunt, making that throw home. Like, I mean, he's just shown that he can do that play time and time again over his career.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, we work on stuff like that. Like, do you tag the bag? Luke has to be ready to tag the base runner if he does that. But that is, in that situation, why I did not pitch run with Stoke, because he's so good defensively, and he gets good jumps, and he's got good instincts. That's a heck of a play.
You opened this up by talking about how you might keep this one. How many do you think you end up keeping box score-wise over the years?
You know, I wrote down a note on the no-hitter the other night. I keep all of them to answer that question. I keep my game cards. I have a notebook for every single year. I actually went back and was looking at my first year here and then my years at Winthrop because you want to keep up and you start getting older. You wonder how these guys are doing, you know, like. But I try to. I have a special spot for like an 18-inning game over in Durham against NC State. And I have a notebook that I just keep those box scores and those game notes because I know one day I'm going to want to look at that and be like, hopefully I can remember. But I'm going to look at it and be like, man, that was unbelievable. 18 innings, 14 today, 14 innings at home. The crowd, too, I want to give them a shout out, man. They stayed. They helped our guys. They were in every pitch. And it's great to see our crowd show up more and more and more. And then we also, doesn't surprise me, I was kind of hit Dustin Ackley would have got. He'd have put so much top spin on that ball, would have bounced over. So I just looked up in the corner at him and was like, man, you brought some good luck today.
3 or 4 arms that you brought in like really big moments. What do you say to a guy when you bring him in? What are they focusing on in a game like that where it just feels like you can't, you know?
You just stay positive with them. Again, you know, we felt good about all of them. We felt like not only had they worked, but they were ready for this moment because, you know, the plus is when you have 2 grads, they pitched a ton. You know, Cam, he's just a true freshman, and he's rolling out there at the game on the line, the bases loaded. I believe he came in with nobody out. Is that right? Yeah, and it was tied or what? We were ahead, but I just noticed right out of the gate, this dude is getting after it. When you're getting after it and you're not taking anything off, that means you are not scared of this moment. And I didn't think one of them. Folger Boaz, I mean, how about that? Your heart rate's got to be pumping because you struggled last night, and he zipped that thing in there and threw a really good slider right there. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Been jacked up.
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Just sort of talk about the moment there. You came in, like he said, high leverage situation, and sort of calmed the nerves, settled it down out there.
Yeah, I've been struggling a little bit with command so far, and just been working with Coach Gaines, Coach Howell, and talking with Coach Forbes about it, just being confident in myself, knowing that I can do it, and just went out there and was trusting my stuff, and I knew that if I didn't have it, somebody behind me would.
What was your middle space after the 9th inning? Because you came back and acted like nothing happened with the way you pitched after that.
Yeah, that's something big we talk about. It's just forgetting about whatever's happened in the past and not worrying about what's to come. It's just whatever you're doing in the moment at the time. So got the double play ball, got out of it, and got back in the dugout and was just focusing on the next inning, getting out there and getting the first guy out.
Does it help you guys that Coach Forbes will put you back out there, even if you're struggling with something? He'll trust you. Just to sort of talk about how that makes you feel.
Yeah, that's really big, especially being a freshman or like our other freshmen. If you have a little bit of struggle, you get out there. You got to get time to get acclimated to the crowd, the hitters you're facing. And it's just a good thing to be able to go out there and struggle a little bit, and the coaching staff trusting you as much as they do.
There were a few times there between those two innings that you completed by your full self where you were pretty fired up. Just kind of the emotions of this game, just kind of what did that kind of bring out of you?
Yeah, I love it. I love big situations. I love getting out of it, getting emotional. To a certain extent, you got to keep yourself under control, but I feel like there's times where you have to, and that's what you live for, especially coming out of the bullpen. There's nothing better than that.
That last full inning that you went when you were coming off, you were just so fired up that you missed the glove check and everything.
Yeah.
Just what's kind of coming through your head there. Just I saw he joked with you as you were kind of going back to him.
That's something new. It's weird coming off the mound, having to have somebody check your glove. You're trying to get in your dugout and celebrate with your teammates, get water, whatever you're trying to do, and you got to go back out. But that's probably the second or third time that's happened this year already that I've gotten out of it and had to run back out and talk to him. But yeah.
High school, you used to play in 7 innings. Is that double that length? Is that the longest you've ever played?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about a minute ago. I said that's probably the longest game by far that I've ever played besides rain delays, but that doesn't count. That's a straight up game of beautiful weather.
Yeah.
So it's super long, but our guys fought through it and kept playing hard the whole time. I knew we would score at some point.
Well, you talked about you knew guys behind you would have it. Just talk about Bolton and Chewy coming out there and getting it done.
Yeah, that's really good. Chewy's picked me up once already this year. I trust in Kale. Kale's been working his tail off like every single day, throwing off the mound, doing whatever. I knew somebody, whoever it was coming behind me, would do they're just as good as you or better. So if you don't have it that day, they're able to come in right behind you and pick you up.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.